We're exploring the new history of the United States, a term that has gained prominence in recent years as Americans rethink and re-examine their national narrative. This new history seeks to present a more inclusive, accurate, and comprehensive account of the nation's past, recognizing the contributions and struggles of all Americans, including those whose stories have been marginalized or overlooked. In this video, we'll delve into the key themes and events that define this new approach to American history. Rethinking the founding era. Traditionally, American history begins with the Founding Fathers and the Revolutionary War. Figures like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin are celebrated as the architects of American democracy. However, the new history of the USA looks beyond these familiar names to consider the experiences of those who were often excluded from the founding narrative. For example, the contributions of women, Native Americans, African Americans, and other marginalized groups during the Revolutionary era are now being more thoroughly explored. The new history emphasizes that the fight for independence was not just a struggle for freedom from British rule but also set the stage for ongoing battles over equality and rights for all people living in the new nation. This approach also re-examines the contradictions of the era, particularly the fact that many of the Founding Fathers were slaveholders, even as they championed liberty and justice. This acknowledgement complicates the traditional narrative and forces Americans to grapple with the legacy of slavery and systemic racism from the very inception of the country. The Civil War and Reconstruction. The Civil War is often seen as a pivotal moment in American history, a war fought to end slavery and preserve the Union. The new history, however, places a stronger emphasis on the period of Reconstruction that followed the war, recognizing it as a critical and often overlooked chapter in the nation's history. During Reconstruction, formerly enslaved people sought to build new lives in freedom, while the federal government attempted to transform the southern states and ensure civil rights for all. This era saw significant progress, including the passage of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, which abolished slavery, granted citizenship, and protected voting rights. However, the promise of Reconstruction was short-lived. The new history pays close attention to the backlash that followed, including the rise of Jim Crow laws, the Ku Klux Klan, and other forms of racial violence and segregation. This period is crucial for understanding the deep-rooted racial inequalities that persisted in the United States long after the Civil War ended. The Civil Rights Movement and beyond. The Civil Rights Movement of the 1950s and 1960s is a key focus of the new history, seen not just as a series of events but as part of a longer struggle for justice and equality. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X are central figures, but the new history also highlights the contributions of grassroots activists, women, and lesser-known figures who played crucial roles in the movement. This approach broadens the understanding of the civil rights movement to include its impact on other marginalized groups, such as Native Americans, Latinos, Asian Americans, LGBTQ+ individuals, and women. The new history recognizes that the fight for civil rights did not end in the 1960s but continues today, with ongoing struggles for equality in areas such as voting rights, criminal justice, and economic opportunity. Immigration and diversity. Another critical aspect of the new history of the USA is its focus on immigration and the diversity of the American population. The United States has always been a nation of immigrants, and this history is essential to understanding the country's identity. The new history emphasizes the contributions of immigrants from around the world, including those from Europe, Asia, Africa, and Latin America, who have shaped American culture, economy, and society. It also acknowledges the challenges and discrimination that many immigrant groups have faced, from the Chinese and Squatter to the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II, and more recent debates over immigration policy. This narrative highlights the idea of America as a melting pot, while also recognizing the complexities and tensions that arise from the nation's diverse population. It challenges the notion of a single, homogeneous American identity, instead celebrating the richness that comes from the country's varied backgrounds and experiences. Revisiting the American dream. The American dream has long been a central theme in the nation's history. The idea that anyone, regardless of their background, can achieve success and prosperity through hard work and determination. The new history, however, takes a more critical look at this concept, questioning who has had access to the American dream and who has been left out. Economic inequality, systemic racism, and other barriers have often prevented marginalized communities from fully realizing the American dream. The new history explores these issues and calls for a redefinition of the American dream that is more inclusive and equitable. Concluding, The new history of the USA is not about rewriting the past, but about expanding our understanding of it. It seeks to include voices and stories that have been silenced and marginalized, providing a fuller, more accurate story of this history. This approach helps us understand the complexities of the nation's past and present and challenges us to create a future that lives up to the ideals of liberty, equality, and justice for all. As we continue to explore and engage with this new history, it's essential to remember that history is not static. It is constantly evolving as we gain new perspectives and insights. The stories we tell about our past shape our identity and our future, making it crucial to embrace a history that reflects the diversity and richness of the American experience. Thank you for watching The Old History, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content.